The following program is produced by the Tech Talk Radio Network. Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Justin Lemmy.
And we are the show that talks about computers.
Technology. Wait, where's Sean?
Wait, Sean is having internet trouble.
Oh, that's why we did this way.
It's really difficult to do a tech show when your guy's having internet outage.
This is the life of being a tech guy. Like, we're like, hey, we're going to record the show. And he's like, oh, yeah, I got internet issues. I'm going to reboot my modem. And then he comes back. I don't know what the problem is, guys. I'm like, yeah, it's probably your ISP.
Well, I'm wondering, wasn't he supposed to? They were putting fiber in his neighborhood. I'm kind of wondering.
Well?
Did he finally? Was he gonna show up today and say, "I got fiber. I'm faster than any of you." Nah, 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 nah. And now he's dead in the water.
Yeah, well, that very well could have been. But then I would just send him a screenshot of my speed test because I actually have true gigabit fiber. As a matter of fact, at work, it was funny. We put in dual fiber internet circuits, so now we've got 2 gigs up and down.
Which is what he's supposed to be getting, right? Yeah, it's supposed to be. I think he said two gigs up and down. He couldn't find like a where you got a gig up and a gig down. It was always, gig up and maybe 300 down. I ended up, this is a good
Even
thing.
then, that is still amazing.
It really is. I mean, I have Xfinity, and they kept telling me, "Oh, it's faster. It's faster." It's like, where is it faster? So I went ahead and I did a hard reset on the modem. Completely shut out the modem, disconnected everything, shut down the router, then brought the modem back after a good 10 minutes. Then brought the router back, and my speed increased to 1.3.
Yep.
So I'm like,
And
wow.
Honestly, I have kind of the same issue in my home. Like, I don't even use the built-in Wi-Fi router of my CenturyLink, or I guess now they're called Lumen.
Right.
I don't know. Whatever.
So what they're
called
giving,
today.
they actually give you one with your account. So if you wanted to use that as a Wi-Fi router with the modem, you could.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You definitely could. But I'm basically putting my Wi-Fi modem, or I'm sorry, internet modem / Wi-Fi router into like a bridge mode, and then it connects to my Asus router.
Right.
And the Asus router acts as my wired router / gateway, and also the wireless router / gateway. But I even find that probably every 2 weeks or so, I need to reboot the modem provided by Lumen, and I need to reboot my Asus router. It helps. I don't know, man. It just, something about it. Like, you just have to reboot your stuff every once in a while.
And that includes your computer too. All right. I mean,
well, yeah, obviously.
Because I'll go a week and a half, 2 weeks without rebooting the computer unless Windows pushes an update where I have no choice. But I mean, I've gone that route. I've never even thought about this idea of rebooting the modem and the router.
Speaking of just rebooting your computer, I actually ran across this at work. Somebody called me. I'm not going to mention names, okay?
Right.
Somebody called me and said, hey, I just can't open up any programs on my computer. Like, every time I try to do it, nothing happens.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, let me check it out. So I jump onto like the Screen Connect, which is our software that we use to do remote control.
Right.
And every computer is registered to Screen Connect. So the computer reports its data to Screen Connect so I can see it, like its IP address, its computer name, how long it's been up. That's where the problem was.
Oh, no. How long had his computer been up?
This computer had been up for 762 days, I want to say.
Oh, my Lord. Really?
And I was like, dude, do you ever reboot this computer? He's like, no, because it runs our sprinkler system. I'm like, okay, yeah, but is the sprinklers running at this very moment? No.
Right.
So probably you could go ahead and reboot the computer, and then the sprinklers will run at the same time next morning.
Yeah, it's all automated, right?
Yeah. 762 plus days.
Wow. Well, the good news is Sean has just popped into the show. We're hoping his microphone is working. Is it, Sean?
Uh-oh.
Give us a thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah, except I'm on my phone.
Oh, you're using your phone. All right. So we've been talking about, the fact is you're getting fiber in your neighborhood, which is a great thing. We thought maybe you bit the bullet and you said, that's it. I've got fiber, 2 gigs up, 2 gigs down, and now it's not working. Is that the case?
I'm not sure. Right now, I switched it back over to Xfinity
Uh-huh.
because I still have Xfinity right now until directly. So I think I'm connected now. I'm just double checking, but yeah, not sure. I came downstairs. We had internet earlier, and it wasn't working. And now I'm back on Xfinity, and it looks like I have connectivity now. So
All right. So do you want to try us back, because your phone connection and the audio is just really awful.
it's not good.
Well, he's in a basement
All right,
on a
there he
cell
goes.
phone on cellular, so yeah.
762 days or something like that.
762 days, something crazy. I don't remember exactly, but I really wanted to like go off on this guy. I'm like, dude, you got to reboot these computers. Like, it goes back to my other point, being an IT person. My whole career, I've been an IT person. Older people were raised in a generation where there's not a lot of computers. And I give it to them. I understand. Okay, you got a problem with your computer? I'll help you out. But these young people that have been raised in a generation with computers, and I've said this before, there is no excuse for you not to understand how to operate a smartphone or a computer,
Right.
because you were raised in that generation. You know how to turn off a computer or to reboot a phone, but
Yeah.
yet people's stupidity amazes me.
Well, you know what worries me about this situation with this guy keeping his computer on so long, and any of you listening to this that have not rebooted your computer in
Do it now.
a great amount of time.
Or wait till after the show.
Yeah, you might, if you're listening to this online. Yeah, but here's the deal: you're also then at telling me you haven't done security updates.
Yeah,
You
totally.
haven't done some of the things that you need to do to make sure your system is running at optimum.
Most of those Windows updates require a restart.
Well, most all of them, and sometimes it'll auto do. So I don't know how you've been able to bypass that for so long. But again, that's saying other kind of issues that it's been up that long.
Let me give you the ending to this story.
Oh, there is an ending. Is it a happy
there is
ending?
an ending. No.
Oh gosh.
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
All right.
This computer was also running Windows 7.
Okay.
And so I said, all right, you know what? I'm taking this computer with me.
You're confiscating it.
I'm confiscating it. I'm the IT manager.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, no, we needed to water our lawns. I'm like, well, I guess you're doing it by hand.
Right. He's talking about the automation, though. Come on.
And I said, it's also a security liability.
Yeah.
Give me 24 hours. I'll re-image it and we'll give it back to you with a brand new installation of Windows 11 with the software, blah, blah, blah.
I'm sure there'd be a way to bypass that in most cases. I mean,
What do you mean?
To bypass that, maybe is there another way? Because obviously it's switching on and off the water throughout the golf course.
It's controlled by a computer program, really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a specialty. I think I want to say PCI, probably not even PCIe, but PCI card in it.
Oh,
That's got a lot of dongles attached to it.
well, hopefully
that talk to the different
with
systems.
the updated system, it would work because
We'll find out tomorrow.
That's the problem. A lot of you listening that have businesses that maybe you're using a software program to maybe print T-shirts or to run certain machines within your business, and they haven't grown with the times, or you decided I bought it one time and I'm not going to upgrade the license because it's too expensive. But see, that's the problems you can run into if you're running.
U.S. Navy.
Well, or even government institutions or educational institutions. We saw that big ransomware attack here in Tucson, and now they're finding out all kinds of stuff. And they're finding out that the budget that they had is not allowing them to upgrade them to today's standards, which they need to be because they're a prime
They really
target.
do.
They're just an absolute prime target for that. So again, I mean, that is a good reason to upgrade the systems. And if it means upgrading and having to pay for the software upgrade for a specific software program you're using, that is probably going to be worth it. Now, I will say, though, on a side note, if you're running a system that has special network connections that does not go out to the internet and it works on specialized softwares, and it is still running maybe under Windows 7 or even older OSs, then sometimes you don't have to, again, if it's not reaching out to the internet. but it always something that should be thought of. But if it is a system that goes out onto the internet, yeah, without the security updates, you're running into all kinds of problems.
I mean, you think about it, you could be down for a day or two while your computer gets upgraded, re-imaged, whatever it is. Or you could pay $1 million to have your computer seized by hackers demanding ransomware, or else they won't let you have your system back, which controls a multi-million-dollar facility.
And there goes your operation.
Yeah. So think about it.
Yeah.
You upgrade it while you can, keep it updated, keep security practices in place, and then you shouldn't have to worry about this kind of stuff.
I'm doing this, matter of fact, in the next week or two for a gentleman that actually does own a printing company. And I've done a hard drive upgrade for them before, where they had a hard drive die, and it turns out the plastic was broken on the hard drive. So I switched one out. We got all his data going. And he was fine. But to my horror, they're running Windows XP. And he was complaining because he said he couldn't get onto any browsers that, Chrome wasn't working anymore, and Internet Explorer, of course, wasn't working anymore, and he was having no luck. And now I think I recommended, I said, well, I think you may get some luck. I've used Opera, and I think he may have tried it for a little while, and now that's not working. So they finally decided they're gonna update their system, and it looks like what we're gonna do. Their big concern is this software program that works. They weren't sure if it would work under Windows 10. But it works under Windows XP. They weren't sure, so I told him. I said, "Well, I could come give you a loaner system. You could test and install your software on it and go that route. But why bother? Why don't we just go the other route? You're gonna need to upgrade your system anyways.
Yeah,
buy a new computer, which they're doing. So I'm specking one out for them, and then we're gonna try PC Mover. I've had good luck with that in the past." We're going to try and see if we can just move the files over that way, see if that'll work. If not, we'll do a reinstall and see. And if it means him having to spend more money to keep his operation going, he's ready to do that, finally.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good.
So that's going to be the way to go.
I think we might have Sean back, but
Sean
he's
back?
messing with his lights right now.
Yeah. All right. Sean, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right. Good. Good to have you back.
Oh, wow.
Except a lot of stuff is not working right now in my house.
So now, any idea what happened?
No lights.
Yeah.
Well, right now I'm on Xfinity, so I'm not on Metronet.
All right.
So Metronet not giving me an IP address, not giving me an output. But it really upset my Wise light bulbs, apparently. So that's why I'm not blue.
That's why you're sitting in the dark.
The video. Well, I'm not sitting in the dark, but it's
honestly, this actually looks better.
It really does.
It focuses more on your beautiful face in the background.
Yeah, no. So we were having some issues like with our phones earlier, and I didn't think anything of it, right? So, just defaulted to our 5G, but the cell phone coverage in our neighborhood has gotten significantly worse over the last
Me too.
year.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm talking one bar, sometimes no bars of service. So, and it's come up in our HOA meetings, it's come up in our neighborhood meetings, it's come up in our county meetings.
Is it on Nextdoor? I'm sure you're finding that on Nextdoor.
It's the Facebook group. Well, Caitlin sees it on the Facebook group. Nextdoor, yeah. But,
yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not
Please
sure what's
tell
going
me
on.
you're not a member of Nextdoor.
No.
I am.
I'm sorry.
I get on there now just to read. I just think it's funny.
You just
So
laugh
I'm gonna
at
have to see
other
what's going on
misfortunes.
because I'm not getting any. As soon as I go over to Metronet, it gives me nothing. So
Now, Metronet,
they're not quite ready.
Metronet is this new service you're going to be jumping over to, correct?
yeah, Metronet is a fiber provider, at least in this part of the country, and it's been great for the last week that I've had it. Right.
So you've already had it for a week, and then it just
died
on you.
I've had it for we didn't do a show last week, and
I did a show.
I got it 2 days after the last show that we recorded.
Right.
Sorry, me and Sean didn't do a show last week.
Justin and I were not available last week.
I had
his own show.
I had to do my own. All right, now did you test the speeds on the?
Yeah, I was getting about 890 up.
Wow.
And about 970 down.
Wow.
That's okay. You know what? I was going to make fun of you, but that's actually pretty close to what I was getting. I usually get about 920 down and about 870 up.
Yeah.
So it's almost reversed.
It was a little a little backwards, but the 2 gig service is not available in my area right now.
Now, what do they have to do to make that
not
happen?
what the online portion told me. But
Oh.
the guy told me that the 2 gig service wasn't available here yet because they haven't rolled everything out here yet, so they can't. I don't know. He gave me some BS, but it went fine. The guy came and ran the line to my neighbor's backyard, which is where the hub is. So my neighbor is really upset, and he's also a coworker of mine.
Right.
And when I told him I was getting Metronet, he was visibly upset because Metronet has to get his permission to come into his backyard because that's where the hub is for our entire neighborhood.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
That's where the Xfinity box is. Apparently, that's just where the infrastructure
Does he get a
is.
kickback on your...
I have no idea.
I mean, legally, that's your property, right? So, like, if they have their stuff on your property, do you, like...
I'm
give a
sure
legal
it's a
kickback?
county easement. I'm sure it's an easement, right? I'm sure it's considered an easement for the county. For a while, it was great. And I was getting great up, great down. And today we just started having some weird, our phones weren't connecting. I didn't think anything of it. Put Max down to bed, was doing some stuff around the house, and then came down to get ready for the show and nothing.
Well, you're
Your
lucky.
neighbor probably disconnected you.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You're lucky you're able to switch over to Xfinity, though. That makes it pretty
because
nice.
I have it until, at least I just paid my Xfinity bill, so I've got it. I'm, not going to turn it in until at least my service is up. But, so I just flipped it over to Xfinity and it popped right up. So I'm going to have to, there's no outage map recorded, so I'm going to have to call them and see what's going on.
So you can jump on Down Detector if anybody is ever looking to see if a service is down, whether it be cable service or even apps or even
It's a great resource.
yeah, it's a great resource. You go on to downdetector.com and basically type into a search of what you're looking for, and it can even triangulate for your area. So you got to let them know, where you're at. But either way, I mean, that's a great resource. Very easy to navigate.
I'm gonna have to look. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That works out.
I'll
pretty
take a look. But yeah, Xfinity's up and working. So.
Well, good. Well, it's
Surprisingly.
good to have you. I don't know if you guys heard. We got a chance to listen to the playback of the show last week, but and then the week before that, which actually just got posted as well. Of course, Eric makes his debut in that show. So, Justin, you're going to actually have to listen to one of our shows.
Oh, my gosh.
To hear that in the second segment. But
Come on. I do this show. I have to listen to it.
yes, you got to listen to it as well.
Okay.
But pretty cool. Last week we talked about this, and it's so bizarre. So we talked about having Ben Sawyer on from an interview I found that we did back in, I want to say it was 1999 or 97, somewhere around
Sorry,
there.
you said Ben Sawyer?
Yeah, Ben Sawyer, who wrote this book with Justin Frankel, all about when MP3 power, and it was all about the power of MP3 using Winamp, of course, and then Shoutcast. And we aired that interview, and it's a great interview. So if it's up on the archives, if you missed it, that interview has been hidden. We found a hard drive with that on there. And then Michael Giacchino, the guy who does the music for some great video games, Call of Duty, Star Trek movies. He's done those, the show Lost and the whole bit. Had him on the show. But it was really cool because I just jumped online like the next day, and ZDNet had a story that MP3 players are still viable. People are still buying MP3 players, even if you can, carry your smartphone with your music. Some people just like to have the MP3. You copy it from your computer, and there you go, and carry them with you.
Those people are called normal.
Well, in the old days, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, everybody now wants to, well, I guess maybe I should say everybody. Maybe they're not normal, but everybody wants to carry their cell phones everywhere. But people go on jogs or bike rides or whatever. They don't want to have to carry a bulky cell phone, no matter how small it is.
Yeah,
it's still bulky. To have like a tiny little MP3 player that I could load up, 20, 30 songs, and just go on a run.
Right.
That's the market for that, I think.
Yeah, I think it makes it easy. I had one of the first MP3 players, the Diamond Rio PMP 300, which I still have.
Me too.
You had that too?
I had that too.
That was a great little MP3 player. Had an SD card on it. You could easily change it out, copy your music. You had skip features. I mean, it was super, super well designed. Diamond was huge back then. They had the video cards. Yeah. They had this MP3 player. And then,
whatever happened to them?
Diamond's still around, but they don't make the products like, I don't think they produce the products like they used to. I mean, they used to really have high-end
haven't.
audio cards, video cards.
Maybe audio cards, sure. But like even you said a couple shows ago, audio cards are kind of a dying fad unless you like an audio file. But I haven't heard the name Diamond in probably 20 years.
Diamond Multimedia, Diamond MM, I think, was their original website. And I don't even know, it was funny because when Ben was on the show last week, he was talking about websites that, I'd pull them up. Well, that website's gone. MP3 Power is actually available if somebody wants to buy it. But, I guess, we've come a long way. It's kind of like...
Dude, we should totally buy that and redirect it to techtalkradio.com.
Wouldn't that be great? We have a couple of sites out there that do that. Like one of the domains I bought when Ann Wilson of Heart, I'll be honest, I own it. Ann Wilson of Heart, she, somebody had joked.
The Heart, like...
Yeah, the group.
Like,
yeah.
The singing group?
Yeah. So somebody had commented, she had held up a shirt and it was like, it was Ann Wilson for president, right? So what do you think I did? I went online and said, oh, look, this domain's available. So I bought the domain, AnnWilsonForPresident.com. But I was a nice guy. I wasn't a jerk. I went ahead and pointed it to, of course, her website. And I mean, but then she got rid of that website, her own personal website, and now it just goes nowhere. I'm thinking I should renew it and point it to ours. But I don't know if I can.
Wilson, is this part of the Wilson sisters or whatever?
Yeah, again, Ann and Nancy Wilson of Heart.
So Ann, I'm sorry, we're kind of diving into music here, but help me understand. Ann Wilson was a part of Heart, but what was her sister's name?
Nancy.
Was she also a part of Heart?
Yes, it was Ann and Nancy. And Nancy was the one who was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Okay, but then they formed the Wilson sisters as a different group?
No, you're way off. No, the Wilson Phillips.
Wilson.
You're thinking of Wilson Phillips?
Yeah.
That's a different group. That's a totally different group. And that's that's with the daughter of Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. One of them.
There's just too many darn Wilsons.
And China Phillips, the daughter of Papa John Phillips.
Seriously?
Yes.
Papa John, but really?
I would love it if you would have ever met the Wilson Phillips and said, I liked it when you were in Hearts.
I probably would have. And then you would just probably just sitting in the background laughing.
Face planted. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, domains are cool. I mean,
face planted? Wasn't he the lead singer of Led Zeppelin?
Oh, you guys are way off track now. This is great.
Hold on, I got to turn this bus around. Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done.
Diamond Multimedia or DiamondMM.com.
Right.
They still exist.
They still exist.
Like
What
mostly do wireless AV, like wireless HDMI, video capture cards, docking stations, USB adapters, monitors.
So a little bit more of a niche market.
Yeah, I remember they used to do a TV card, and it was kind of cool because then you
TV
capture card, and then you could watch TV on your PC. Then Hapeg, was out there competing with them, and I think Hapeg put out a pretty good product. And Elgato, they had a really good TV tuner that you could connect to your PC via USB that made it a lot easier. But I think Diamond was doing a lot of that too, and I can't remember the name of their capture card, but I had one, and it was good. People would come over and they'd be like, "Oh, you're watching TV on your computer." They didn't understand that technology.
Now everything's done with streaming.
Technology and innovation. All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today on the show. FBI sending out a warning. They're finding out that AI is the ultimate password cracker, and so if you do not have a password manager that will allow you to do long characters, you need to start thinking about it because artificial intelligence is using computing power to crack passwords now.
And boy, howdy, do I have a password protector for you.
We come back, more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Sean DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Find us on the web at techtalkradio.com. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
So before the break, we talked about the need for password managers. And we have mentioned password management before on the show. I mean, many times we've talked about the need for this. Now, you can always store your passwords in your browser, which is not recommended. Any browser you use, Edge, Chrome, Firefox, every time you go to type in a password, it's like, well, would you like me to store your password? It's super secure. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what happens if Google crashes the password manager, which is what happened to mine, and I was suddenly forced to listen to you guys finally and get a password manager, and that's exactly what I did. And
Wait, hold up. What?
What?
You just finally listened to us?
Yeah. Yeah, it took a while. It took a couple years.
Okay. Love you too, buddy.
All right, but here's the deal. Here's the deal. Have you noticed Google is running ads now about, hey, store your password with us. Store it in our browser because it's easy.
Yeah, because we have enough of your information, but we're just missing that final little piece.
Why is this not a good idea other than, it maybe crashing and losing half of your passwords or all of them? It's a security risk, isn't it?
First off, you don't want to trust Google with every bit of your information. I mean, they have enough information about us already. Now you're going to give them your passwords to your bank and to everything else. I mean, this is just wrong in so many ways.
All it takes is for you to click on one bad link, and somebody can get all of that information for your Chrome.
That's right.
I mean,
it's a lot of people think that, it's not that hard to store your stuff in Chrome or whatever. Well, I can sit down if you're logged into Chrome, and I can go into Chrome and see all your stored passwords and click a button and then reveal those passwords.
You can also export them as a CSV file, which once you have that exported file, you take them with you, you pop it in Excel or even, Open Office in the spreadsheet program, and you can see it there. You can view all the passwords.
Yeah,
the thing is
people, it's just people will trust Google too much to keep stuff secure when it's not.
The thing is browsers, Firefox, I know we're here talking trash about Chrome, okay? Because that is the world's wideliest.
There you go.
That
works.
Wideliest?
Can you spell
wideliest used browser. I can't spell it. Don't even ask me to do that.
Worldwide leader of browsing.
Sure, why not? The number one browser. Sure, let's go with that. But the thing is, Google Chrome or Firefox or Edge or whatever, Brave, they are kind of like a password manager for you, right? Mm-hmm. Because you store your passwords with them, but you have a Google Chrome account, which happens to be your Gmail. So in essence, your passwords to your entire digital life is only as secure as your Google password.
Yeah, if
your Google password is password123, but then you're using the Google Password Manager to come up with like 23 character long, hyphenated, special character ASCII keys, it doesn't matter because everything can be hacked with your Gmail password, which happens to be password123. And yes, Frank, you're listening. I know that's your password.
Frank, what are you doing? Here's a really scary note about this. So AI can be great, right? Well, have you heard about Wonderful? Wonderful is an AI that can crack the most common passwords almost instantly.
Now, oh my goodness.
Now, I have a program from a company that can help crack a password to be able to access the actual password system of the computer, can access RAR files, zip files, and in case that forensics are needed for that, right? And it works. It works great. It can take a while. Been working 3 months on a pretty complex password as well. So 3 months, mind you. Now, Wonderful, this AI password cracker, can figure out the most common 4 to 7 character passwords in a matter of seconds.
That's crazy.
And that includes, here's the deal. Now, you guys might be thinking, well, that means password 1, 2, 3, 4, right? This includes passwords with upper and lowercase letters and numbers in seconds. So,
but no special characters though.
Yeah, I don't know if once you start throwing the alpha, the alpha's in there, you've got the pound sign, the exclamation point, the dollar sign, it's going to add a little to that. But the fact that it can work this fast because of the computing power we have today has got to be very scary. And that is why it is worth the investment for a password manager to get one that's reliable. We all like 1Pass. That has been really good. 1password.com.
That is the one I recommend by far. Yeah. Because what I love about 1Password is not only do you have to sign in to your account on a browser. But if it is a new browser or a new computer, even if it's the same browser, you restore a backup or whatever, when you sign into that browser and you download the 1Password extension,
Right.
it's going to ask you not only for your master password, but it's going to ask you for your account master key.
Which is not short at all.
It's not short at all. No, it's ridiculously long. Like, 32 characters in, no, let's say 35 characters in like seven blocks. Yeah, that makes sense. Like 5 characters, 7 blocks. You have to have all that information. So even if somebody were to even get your master password to your 1Password, they could never sign in to your 1Password unless they had the master key to also decrypt that vault on their computer. So it's really, really secure,
All right, so,
in my opinion.
So somebody listening to us right now, all right, Frank, hopefully you'll do it. But anybody else listening, they think, well, I hear these guys talking about it. Maybe it makes sense, especially now I'm telling you this info on AI. So say they have it already integrated into Edge, or they already have it integrated into Chrome. Can they go in and delete all those passwords once they go ahead and reset up everything and then be good to go? Or is it automatically going to store them in? Because 1Pass, it will take a little while for you to really get up to speed on it and understand it.
And 1Pass does have a browser extension.
Yes, it does.
They do, yes.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, they should definitely not keep those passwords in the browser itself. Could go in and remove those.
Yeah, so if you download the browser extension for 1Password, and again, there's also other password managers that do roughly the same thing, but we're talking about 1Password. If you download the browser extension to 1Password, whenever you're on a website that requires your login information, 1Password will prompt you to say, hey, I know that I have something here in my vault.
Should I use it?
That you might need here. It's like, hey, I got something you might want.
Great.
But if you want it, you got to unlock me first. You hear?
Why do you have to do that voice? That's scary.
I don't know. That was a really bad Brooklyn accent. Hey, I just watched the Super Mario Brothers movie. Okay, give me a
there
break.
We go. Yes.
We'll talk about that later. But no, I mean, yes. So you have to unlock the password manager to make it work first. So
right. Now, cost-wise, Sean, I know you kind of covered this last time we talked about it.
1Password
But
for
honestly,
families
it's not
is
that bad.
$4.99 a month for five users. It's easy to do, right? And I'm going to tell you right now. So don't lose your master password emergency kit. I'm trying to log in on my desktop, which I haven't done before.
If
and
you
it requires
use that,
my
lose
secret.
that,
It requires my secret key, which I just had to go get from a secured PDF file that I had saved. Don't lose that, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to log in.
I actually, with my secure key, I actually printed it out and I put it in a bank vault, and then I
There you go.
deleted any reference to it.
Right.
So if I ever have to get on a new computer to launch my 1Password, I literally have to go to the bank to get that out of the document. I take the computer with me. I'll log in. I'll put the master key on it, and then I will save it. And then I will put that document back in my bank, and then you won't be able to find my master key on any of my computers.
Don't make the mistake that some people have made in years past around their office computer or their desktop computer, where they take a piece of paper and they write their login password next to the
good
computer,
Lord. I see
put it
that
under
every
the
day.
monitor or even under the keyboard. And that way.
Well, yeah. So it's like at work, right? We get yelled at for sharing email. Like, some people will still say, hey, I'm logged out of this machine. Here's, what's the password? And I'll send them a 1Password link. They're like, hey, I can't get into my 1Password. Can you just email it to me? No, figure it out. I'm not sending a plain text and email. It's things like that internally they will scan emails. And if you're sending passwords in plain text, they'll flag those and you'll get a nasty gram saying, hey, don't send emails with plain text.
Yep.
Yeah, so have the most elaborate password for you, especially, if it's connecting your bank, Social Security. I mean, all of that, whatever you're using, make sure it's an elaborate system. That's why you want to use the password manager. And while we recommend 1Pass, there may be others out there that will work for you that you might want to try. But honestly, if you're going to go, we think that's one of the best routes to go.
Yep.
Couldn't this help in a legacy situation where somebody unfortunately passes away? and that happens, that if they had that master password, they had that stored in a safe deposit box, and somebody has the authorization to go to that safe deposit box and has access then to the password that would enable them to then do whatever they needed to for the family with bank accounts and, maybe
Yes,
retirement
absolutely.
accounts. They would be able to do that. So that's honestly not a bad way to go, to get that master password, get it installed in your systems, and then take that and go put it in a safe deposit box. A lot of people have them. So, it makes
because
sense.
the thing is that's exactly the reason I did what I did, is because, God forbid I should meet an early demise.
Right.
I want to be able to have my family be able to access everything on my computer except for my browser history. And
Took me a second on that one. Yes.
yeah, I was waiting for it. I'm like, crickets, hello. This is your cue to laugh. No, but I mean, yes, I want them to be able to access everything that I would be able to, because then it'll make the transition to the next stage a lot easier.
Right. You have so many different ways. What about digital currency? I don't know if you sold all yours
I
yet.
have all that. No,
Yeah.
I have all that in a safety deposit box as well.
That is also something to think about.
And
too.
I have it actually sitting in my trust for my son, Eric.
Right. Hopefully
So,
it'll still be worth money when that
I'm
happens.
sure it'll be worth a lot of money by then.
Yeah, there's been
He'll
a
be
lot
able
of,
to buy so many Legos.
there's been a lot of talk recently too about how Bitcoin could happen, could be going up. Not that we're recommending it.
We're not
but
quite in a bull market yet.
not yet. We come back. Got to tell you about this new massive arcade game, which is pretty cool, and why the FBI is sending you a warning. We'll do that with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Sean DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy.
This is TikTok Radio.
Wow, that's good.
We will be right back.
Now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
So it's back to the movies.
Aha.
Right? COVID took a really big hit on the movies,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
there's been some big blockbusters that have come out this year. I just recently saw the Dungeons and Dragons movie, which was pretty incredible in my opinion. But
Nice. I
Justin
wanna
just
see
saw the
Actually, my son and I went to go see the Super Mario Brothers movie. And honestly, I heard a lot of really bad things
Really?
about the movie. I just heard that it wasn't really good and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? We've got somebody who's the best critic of them all. Eric, what did you think about the movie?
Good.
I like critic. Good.
Yeah, you liked it. What was the best part of the movie?
When Toad said, "Don't touch that mushroom."
To touch the what?
Don't touch the mushroom. Okay.
Oh, the mushroom. Yeah.
But did you like Chris Pratt as the voice of Mario?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
B-O-O-O-O-O-O-B-O-O-P.
okay.
Is he spelling something from the movie? I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
no, he's spelling poop.
Oh,
And you're gone.
and there we go. We tried it out. That was great, actually.
No,
All right.
we enjoyed it. We actually enjoyed it. I've heard a lot of stuff.
Now it's time for Hee Haw.
Time for Hee Haw. What are you making this kid watch? Seriously. You making him watch bad television shows from the
I know.
70s?
Hee Haw?
Yeah.
I would never. First off, you could call child support or child protective services
CPS.
for that, because I would never let him watch Hee Haw. Okay, that's just cruel and
That's just
unusual
wrong,
punishment.
Dad.
No,
All right.
yes, but no, we went to the Mario movie. I heard a lot of bad things about it.
I've
but
heard
honestly,
nothing but good. Everybody keeps saying how good it is.
it's the blockbuster hit of this last week.
it's
I mean,
the
it is.
largest grossing animated movie of all time.
Yeah.
Wait, hold
Yes.
up.
You didn't
What?
hear that?
Yeah, it's the highest grossing animated movie of all time now.
See, I'm starting to wonder if all of these people that are doing these hate things on to like movies and IP, like intellectual property. Think back to what was it, like a month and a half ago? All these people were bashing that new Harry Potter video game.
Right.
All of a sudden, it becomes the greatest, like one of the fastest selling video games of all time. Everybody that I've heard has been talking bad about the Mario movie, saying it's not true to character, blah, 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 blah. Sean is telling me it's the fastest selling
Film.
animated movie
Yeah.
of all time.
Well, all right. Here's what people need to think about when And I don't think enough people think this way, guys. We are in a circle. And everybody that gets on to Twitter, that gets into Facebook, that gets into any of the social media sites out there, you put yourself in a circle. Now, you might not put yourself there, but it's the people that are around that circle. That's why it's important to be very careful of who you accept as friends, whether it be on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, the whole bit, because you get put in that circle. That is the info you're going to be fed. A difference of opinions is always good. But remember, if they're with that circle that is negative, Nancy, and you're over here and you're like, I just want to experience it. Like, I want to see the movie for myself and make the opinion.
I agree with you on so many different factors, but here's a different point of view on one of those is personally with my social media, I like to invite all different types of people to my social media. I don't want to be called because I'm conscious of that circle, if you say, right?
Yeah.
Because there's definitely truth to that. You will align yourself with people that you agree with. I like to align myself with people that I disagree with as well.
Right.
Because I kind of want to see their point of view. And so I guess, not to get into a political discussion, but that kind of puts me in the middle because I'm willing to listen to the other side. Whereas what you're saying is you can find yourself getting in that whirlpool of the same type of people and the same type of content. And before you know it, you're already down the drain.
But don't forget, it is important that no matter what somebody says online, no matter what opinion they share or something they say, I know this to be true, to take it all with a grain of salt, even if it's coming from some of the closest people that you know, so that you form your own opinions and you don't let them stray. Be an individual. And I've told my kids that for years, to be themselves. And it's really important, especially when it comes to social media. Like, say somebody in that circle that you maybe don't always interact with and you don't really always like, and they say something, you go, there's some sense to that. You click on the like, you're going to get fed more of that opposing side. So be ready for it. And, that's really like the sad thing about it is you've got to be kind of visually careful about what you're commenting on, what you're liking, what you're seeing out there online. Now, the reviews I've heard, like your review is good. Eric's review is good as well, even though he likes Hee Haw. I'm looking forward to see what Sean thought of Dungeons and Dragons, because everything has been Mario, but it's not been Dungeons and Dragons.
I was just going to say, you notice how Sean had been silent this whole time while we were talking about social media? It's because he's not on social media. But
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you get the reviews about the movie? What made you say, I want to go see it?
Oh, I still actively search for stuff on the internet when I'm interested in it, right? And I still use Reddit, so I'm not off all social media, right?
Well, real quick, before we find out about Dungeons and Dragons, Sean, when it comes to Super Mario Brothers, you got to think about it with the success of the movie. This is good. It means we're going to see merchandising. We're going to see sequels.
Hello, we already have merchandising. It's called Nintendo.
Yeah, but I mean, we're going to see further stuff tied to the movie, which, the kids are liking it. The adults are liking it. It's kind of a bit of nostalgia. It's kind of a shame that they're dogging so bad on the 1993 Super Mario Brothers live action movie with
it sucked.
It was pretty bad with the late Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo. It was
bad.
Flat. It was like hard to follow.
Did you hear he's like trash talking this one?
John Leguizamo, yeah. He says he won't see it, which is a shame. I'd say go see it. Draw your opinions afterwards.
I don't even know exactly what he's talking about, but he's just like trashing this movie like, oh, it's not blah, 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 or whatever. I'm like, did you even see it, bro?
See it for yourself. And he hasn't seen it. He said he won't. You got to see it for yourself. Like, again, Dungeons and Dragons. All right. I didn't play it. I
want to see this.
My coworker said she didn't want to see it because she's never played. I said, I dabbled in Dungeons and Dragons, but the movie's a fantasy film based on that Dungeons and Dragons, from what I understand. Am I, Sean? Help me out here.
Dungeons and Dragons. I missed the first part. I was reading more about the movie. I was reading into the details.
Tell us your review. Let me break it down.
All right.
Give us your review of Dungeons and Dragons, the movie.
Yes.
Honor
I
Among
thought the
Thieves.
movie was great. The Dungeons and Dragons movie was great, and I would have to bring in my coworker to kind of, because I went and saw with a coworker, right? I had a day off last week, and I called him up and said, "Let's go see this movie." And I will tell you that the storyline felt, it was very. They did an action scene, and then they were at the next part. They did an action scene, and then they were at the next. There was no like transitioning between places. There was no time.
Kind of like the game.
Yeah.
So if you were sitting and playing Dungeons and Dragons, right, you're not going to spend a whole session traveling from point A to point B. You're just going to be like, you traveled 7 days, you ate this much food, you drank this much wine, you got this far. But yeah.
Yeah.
So the movie felt very segmented. It was like, hey, action scene. All right. Next story element. Action scene.
Got it.
Next story element. It felt like you were watching people play Dungeons and Dragons.
Really? Okay, that's cool.
That's kind of neat. Yeah.
The way the characters interacted with each other, it felt like you were in the dialogue.
So you got like different personalities in the actors too, right?
Yeah.
Because there's like a smart aleck, and then there's like the brute, and then there's like the shy person, right?
Yeah, I mean everybody kind of plays their own style, right? Which is good, and that's an element of the game, right? Every player character brings that element to their in-game character,
Right.
so it was good, right? And there are elements of the game where it's like, as somebody who has been a dungeon master and who has played as a character, played as a player character, there are elements of this where you go, oh yeah, I can see how they came up with that, because they're trying to describe this creature, and this creature looks miserable on the screen, but that's how somebody might have described it in the game, right?
Got it.
There's specific scenes in the movie as somebody who has been a dungeon master who's had to come up with stuff on the fly and be creative. It's like, oh, I can see how if I described this, that's how it would look to somebody on the screen.
Wait. So now I'm kind of understanding it. So people are playing Dungeons and Dragons, but now what they're doing in the game is now being related to on the big screen. Is that it?
For the most part. Most part, yeah.
Now, Chris Pine, I know, is in it. And I'm trying to think who else is a part of it.
Well, let Sean look up IMDb.
Yeah, that's a great
But honestly, this is a really good movie. I mean, you think about it, you think Dungeons and Dragons, yeah, I'm not going to see that.
Yeah.
No, this is actually a really cool movie, and I can't wait to see it. I'm going to go see it this weekend.
You know,
it's really good. And even if you don't like, or if you're like, you're hesitant because, oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons, I'm not going to know a thing about Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I don't know. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. My coworker doesn't play Dungeons and Dragons.
right.
He's interested in playing Dungeons and Dragons, and he's now more interested. He's like, that was fun. Like, I enjoyed that movie. Is this what it's like playing Dungeons? It's like, yeah.
Yep.
What you watch is how it feels playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like the chaos, the fun, the crying, I cried during the movie because they got you so invested.
Wait, hold on. A cry, like a laughing cry or like a sad cry?
A sad cry.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was laughing, crying too, right? There's some moments in there that are just like so unbelievable. But that's Dungeons and Dragons, right? There are scenarios in games that are just so unpredictable and so out of control of your mind, right? That you just can't think of the possibilities how your mind can come up with these ideas and stuff, right? And those are relayed on the silver screen, right? So it's really fun. And I'm pulling up the cast list because I'm gonna read these cast lists off, right? And you're gonna be like, oh, cool.
Just give us the first four. Who's the first four on them?
So Chris Pine,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Rodriguez,
Oh, I like her. Yeah.
Oh, from Fast and Furious.
Reggae Jean Page.
Oh, yeah, from Bridgerton. He's a guy.
Bridgerton.
He was a guy that was in the first season. Everybody fell in love with him, and then he's like, "Okay, I'm gone."
Yeah,
He's going to go fight dragons now.
Yeah.
Justice Smith,
Who's that?
Sophia Lillis,
All right.
Don't know.
Hugh Grant.
Oh, I like him.
Oh, yeah, Hugh Grant. Of course.
He does great interviews.
4
Yes.
weddings and a funeral. Yeah,
And there's a couple other
good interviews too.
headliners, but those are kind of the big ones. But
Oh, cool.
it's really good. It's really good.
I want to go see it so bad.
All right, we're gonna have to maybe make that a plan.
Can I just give real quick about that Mario movie?
Yeah.
It really was pretty cool. I mean, yes, we're missing so many different facets of the movie, but honestly, there were so many little background behind the scenes type of thing. If you're not watching the main character, you're kind of looking off to the side of the screen and you'll see some little Easter egg, and there's stuff going on. And the cast was not that bad. Everybody was given Chris Oh my gosh! Now you say Chris Pine, so maybe
Chris
you think
Pratt.
of Chris Pratt. Thank
Yeah.
you. They were giving him so much grief about his character. He didn't do that bad of a job.
Just because he didn't speak like Mario. Did not do the
Yeah.
Mario.
It's a me. It's a me, Mario.
You know, they got an A-list cast to do the
Yeah.
voicing,
Yeah.
Yep.
and a lot of people have mixed feelings about Chris Pratt because he's been in so many different movies recently. Everybody's burnt out. They're like, "Oh, you could have found somebody original. You could have found the original voice."
Oh,
Of
Yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah,
Oh,
blah,
they wanted that. I like it. Jack
Oh.
Black is in it as well.
He
Yeah, he
did a
plays
pretty
Bowser.
decent job. Yeah, he plays Bowser. He did. Now, the only person that I didn't recognize from the cast, honestly, was Princess Peach. She's kind of an. I mean, maybe from my generation,
Was
but
it
she's kind of an
Anna
unknown.
Was it Anna Taylor
Some-
Joy?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah. Who
Anna
is she?
Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, she's good.
Who is she?
She was in a really good series on Netflix that I just loved. And I'm trying to remember what that series was. Sean, you're the master of the IMDb right now. What was it?
She is. She did Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit. Did you ever see that? The chess movie?
We started watching that. Is she? Wait, does she play?
Yeah.
Hold on.
She's the main character in Queen's Gambit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, that's her.
Oh my God. My wife
right.
is going to blow her mind right now.
Because
Like,
she
this is
watched
gonna blow
it, right?
Oh yeah, she's watched Queen's Gambit. No, she had no idea. Oh my God.
All right, let me tell you
Okay.
about this. It kind of ties in to Super Mario Brothers. One of my favorite arcade games when I used to go to the arcade, the Boynton Park Mall, and drop quarters in was Donkey Kong. I love Donkey Kong.
Of course.
The Strong National Museum of Play, and you can look this up, it's in New York, has unveiled a massive Donkey Kong arcade cabinet that's nearly 20 feet tall. The cabinet will be available for actual play because if you're standing, the controls are right there, like you're up near your chest level. But when it's fully installed on June 30th, if you want to see the pictures, you can check out Strong Museum on Twitter to see the photos of the largest Donkey Kong arcade game
Oh wow.
that you're going to be able to play.
We're looking
So
at
I'm,
this
sho-
right
I'm
now.
showing them a rendering right now from Polygon's website, and it's
Yeah.
got a 3D rendered person in front of this. It's ginormous.
We'll go ahead and pop the photo up on our blog. As a matter of fact, you could subscribe to our blog, blog.techtalkradio.com, and check out the photo there to see what this massive arcade looks like. Quick FBI warning when we come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Sean DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Send us a tweet at Tech Talk Radio. We'll be right back.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
So I've been kind of teasing this whole FBI thing, and not for we've just been having a fun discussion about stuff, but the FBI is warning. We have talked about this before here on Tech Talk Radio. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. FBI is warning against using public phone charging stations. They are finally saying now bad actors have figured out ways to use
already knew this.
public USB ports to introduce malware and monitoring software. They're saying this goes for airports, hotels, shopping centers. So why is this? I mean, you go to your favorite coffee shop and there you see a charging station. You don't want to use that because somebody could have changed it?
You could plug in. It could be plugged into a computer on the other end. It could just be sucking the data off your phone.
It could have like a little brick charging station that looks like it's part of the coffee shop. Could have like a Raspberry Pi with a storage unit on it that could be copying everything you do on your phone or everything, not even
a laptop
you do.
even, yeah.
Passively, laptop, whatever. You do not want to plug anything into a public charging station, period.
Do you remember this happened a few years ago? We talked about it back then where people were dropping USB cords. So somebody sees a USB cord and it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, it has a lightning connector or it has a USB, B
Yeah.
or C or A or whatever.
yeah.
And they would plug their devices in. But that small little connector that was on there was enough to capture keystrokes or, information or data being passed through. And people were getting hacked and getting malware from that.
And see, the thing is even if you have that little USB cord or whatever, and you're like, oh, it's just a USB cord, it's got a computer chip inside. And once you plug it into your computer or your phone, it's going to use your phone's data plan or your computer's Wi-Fi connection or whatever it is to send all that information back to its parent or whoever you want to call its home.
I was telling my boss about this, and he asked me, he said, well, should I be careful about buying USB cords at, yard sales? And I said, yeah.
You should be careful about buying USB cords on Amazon, period.
Yeah. some good points. Now, what they're advising though is for you to carry your own charger. Remember that. Pack it before you get away on vacation. Carry your own charger, USB cord, and use an electrical outlet instead. Don't plug the USB cord. You carry your own cord. Don't plug it into a USB outlet that's on maybe a table somewhere. Take your own, take your own electrical, plug it into an outlet.
Yes.
So
yes,
something to think about. All right, that's it for this week's Tech Talk Radio. Guys, have a great week. Now, Sean's got to go see Super Mario Brothers. Justin's got to go see Dungeons and Dragons. We'll talk about it next week. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Sean DeWeird.
And I'm Justin Lemmy. Don't worry, Andy's going to watch his Hallmark channel. Have yourselves a great week.